If you have this procedure before, what happened? Okay, there's a lot of things that we got to ask. Okay, things that we may also be concerned with is writing down our exposure factors. When we say exposure factors, some of you guys have already had 142 and 146. Okay, are you guys familiar with MA and time and KV? Those are all the factors that we manipulate on our control panel to produce X-rays. We're going to put that on the chart. The length of our study. If there is any patient preparation for the procedure, medications that we may administer, and also if the patient goes into an allergic reaction, God forbid, an anaphylactic reaction, we're going to put that down on our chart as well. Okay, some other things. Trauma if pertinent. Okay, they come into your department. Okay, my legs hurt. Well, what happened? Well, I fell off a building. Oh, that's good. Let me write that down. Okay, how far did you fall? Oh, let me write that down. Where exactly does it hurt? Let me write that down. Okay. Contrast media. Patient education before and after, as we talked about earlier. Nurses and physicians who participate, not only you, but also other clinical members who participate in the procedure. RT is also document and review and check for any type of omissions. If it's not performed, you need to write not performed. You just don't skip it. Don't leave anything blank. Time and date of the procedure. Abbreviations. Okay. We like to abbreviate because a lot of the terminology in the medical setting is Latin. Snoring, stertorous breathing. Oh my gosh, can't we just say snoring? Right? Tachycardia, can't we just say fast heart rate? Okay, everything is abbreviated. You guys remember that abbreviation LOC? What does that stand for?
Level of consciousness.
Okay, level of consciousness or
Loss of
consciousness. That's a common abbreviation. LOL.
Laugh out loud.
Okay, laugh out loud. So there is a common standard abbreviations that we must follow. You can't make up your own abbreviations. Okay, you cannot make up your own abbreviations. Okay, charting formats are also standardized. Legible. Information recorded in a medical record must be legible and written in ink. Legible. Come on, guys, can doctors write?
Oh my God.
They can't write worth whatever, okay? They can't write. So as technologists, it is going to be your responsibility. What is it that you're looking for before you perform the procedure? You're looking for what? You're looking for the doctor's orders, right? We want to make sure that we are doing the correct procedure, so we open up the chart and look for the doctor's orders. If we can't read it, are we going to go ahead and proceed with the procedure? Oh, well, it looks like a chest x-ray. I'm going to do one. No? What do you want to do?
Clarify it.
Clarify it. If you can't read it, if you don't understand it, you need to clarify. You need to verify. Okay? So you don't proceed with it if it's illegible. If you can't read it, okay, you need to verify it. Okay? Errors. Do not erase or block out. It's just like writing a check. Okay, if you make an error on the check, you cross it out, you initial it, and you put the correct text underneath it. Anybody else use checks? Am I the only one that uses checks?
Are you?
I still use checks. Yeah, you do too, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm still living in the past. Checks. Okay. Time and date of entry. Concise and logical order. Okay. You guys get the gist, right? Correct spelling. Yes, it's correct spelling, guys. Again, just a slight misspelling can mean a whole different word. I get students all the time in all my classes, hey, Dr. F, does spelling count? Yeah, spelling does count. If you're going to learn how to chart, you need to learn how to spell correctly. Because again, just one slight change in a letter can have a whole different meaning. Okay? Do you guys know the difference between dysphagia and dysphagia? One has an S, the other one has a G. Dysphagia and dysphagia. Okay? Spelling counts. All right. Comments. Okay, no comments. Never include critical comments about the patients and other healthcare workers. Record only for yourself. No blank spaces. Okay, so nothing blank. And then us. You know, our specific documentation is the generation of a medical image, whether it be a radiograph or whether it be an ultrasound image. All this information must be included. The name, the date, where it was performed, who performed it. Are you taking an image of the right or the left side? All this has to be documented. A consent and signed by the patient or legal guardian must be presented before any patient records a release. Original records should be released from the department where they are taken. However, there are exceptions. Okay. Any questions here? Okay. Confidentiality. Patient confidentiality. When we are referring to a patient, when we are referring to a procedure, the phrase that we use is on the need-to-know basis. You only need to know if you are involved in that procedure, if it is pertinent to that procedure or that patient. Okay? On the need-to-know basis. Once you're done with that patient, there's no longer for you to have a conversation about it. Okay? Only in the procedural room and only to clinicians who are involved in the procedure. Okay? You ever heard that phrase, what happens in Vegas? Okay? Well, what happens in room 3 stays in room 3. Once we're done with the procedure, there's no longer for you to discuss it. You understand what I'm saying? This is where patient confidentiality comes in. Do you know how many times I've stepped into an elevator and I've heard doctors and nurses talking about a particular patient? They say the room number, they even say the name. Is that a violation of patient confidentiality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Maybe I wasn't the family member, okay? But sometimes there are family members who are in that same elevator. And they know exactly who you're talking about. Do you know how many times I've gone into the restroom, into the stall? Okay? Students coming in and they're like, F this, F that, shit, all this, okay? And I'm in the restroom and I walk out of the stall and they're like, there was a teacher in here. Okay? Does that happen to you guys? Bathroom is a good example, right? You're in there, nobody thinks you're there, nobody thinks that you're listening, but you're having this whole conversation about somebody that you might know. There have been times where they've been talking, I'm in their stall, and I'm hearing students talk about their teachers. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go tell a teacher what they just said. Same thing happens here, guys. What happens in room 3, 5, whatever, it stays there. Okay, this is talking about confidentiality. Okay? So it refers to the concept of privacy. All patients have the right to have information concerning their state of health or other personal information kept in confidence unless, now here's the unless with the exception, unless there is a direct threat to society if not disclosed. Yes, the patient has the right to their confidentiality, right? But I also have a right to know, as a clinician, whether or not they have something that I can contract, such as what? HIV, or what's the other one?
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis. I need to know those things to protect myself. Okay? As an RT, you must not disclose facts concerning the patient's health or other personal information to anyone not involved with the patient's care. Okay? You are part of that confidentiality in assuring that it is confident between you, the patient, and whoever else is caring for that patient. So this falls under what is known as HIPAA. HIPAA is the Health Information and Portability Accountability Act. Okay? This is talking about keeping the patient's information private. So anything that pertains to the patient's identity, we need to keep in confidentiality. So what is it that makes a patient or individual identifiable? Well, name, date of birth, social security number, driver's license. I mean, those are all pretty much obvious, right? But also what's included here are relatives' names, telephone and fax numbers, email addresses, medical record numbers. Okay, voice prints, fingerprints, photos. Oh, photos is a big one. Photos is a big one. When the students, before they start their clinical externship, which is going to be next semester, they're going to be going to the hospitals. First time in the hospitals, they're excited. Okay, this is what they're doing. Oh, stand over there. So they're snapping pictures of everybody and anybody. You have to be careful, even in social media, that you don't divulge any of this type of information. Okay? I say, yeah, it's okay to take photos, but make sure there's nobody else in that photo with you that will give a patient's identity or a hospital away. Okay? Because it's all done in confidence. Do you guys know that even in teaching institutions like USC and UCLA, we have visiting medical doctors coming in and out all the time. We have student doctors coming in and out all the time. They can't just walk into a procedural room and watch and observe. They need to sign a form that says, okay, I'm going to be observing this procedure. Now you got to check with the patient. Hey, is it okay if so-and-so watches and observes? Okay? They need to be cleared. All right, any questions here on HIPAA?
What is code?
Huh?
Code
Where?
down there.
Codes? Oh, codes. So this is an good example of a code. When you, let's just say, for example, you have a code blue. Okay? Code blue. You usually say code 3rd floor, East Tower, for example. Okay? You don't say the room number, because now if you have family members in-house and you hear 309, they're going to go in a panic. Okay? So during a code, we give generalities, and then there are people outside in the hallways directing where the code is. So you have people directing traffic. We don't talk about specifics. Okay? So that's an example of code. Also, when we're wheeling patients in and out, down the hallway, we're picking up our patients, we're picking up their chart. We can't leave the chart on their laps anymore. We have to tuck it in underneath the mattress or behind them so their names don't show. Have you guys ever gone to the emergency room lately?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say, okay, back in the day when you went down the emergency room, you went by the wall, the board that had all the patients' names in there and what room they were in and what conditions they had. And you're walking by and you're looking at it as you're going into your room. Now it's just initials. Okay? Or it could be just numbers. But it's very cryptic. You don't know who it is. It's not identifiable. Same thing with computers. You can't walk by a computer terminal without it having some kind of block or screen in front of it anymore. Okay? So everything is electronic nowadays. So these are ways to protect electronic data. You use screensavers to block information displayed on unintended computer monitors. You log out the system before walking away. Here's another example. Okay? Doctor comes in. Hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so. I need to look over my patient's medical records, but I forgot my password. Can you log me in?
No.
Okay? The answer is no. But it's different when you're put in that situation. Right? It's easy to say it, but now you have a doctor standing over your shoulder, and you're like, ooh, should I or shouldn't I? The correct answer is no. But many of us are going to be hesitant because you have now somebody of power, okay, or authority standing over your shoulder saying, hey, sign me in. Okay? Again, different when you're in a situation, but the answer is no. So you say, you know what, here's the number to the CIS, see if you can get a temporary password. Okay, and they'll look at you like, okay? And then they'll go get the password. But no, you did the right thing. You don't sign them in. Okay? Log off the system before walking away. Point computer monitors so that visitors or people walking by cannot view information. Do not keep your password written down. Do not keep your password written down. Okay? Again, as a registry technologist, I go from one hospital to the next. Okay? I don't need to ask anybody for a password because you know why? I know where to keep their password. It's so obvious behind the screen, under the keyboard, in the drawer. Okay? But that's what they should be doing. But I've been in many institutions where I can let myself in the computer based on just the basic knowledge, where they keep passwords. And then, when I used to be an administrator, years and years ago, like 20 years ago, I was able to get into my staff members' homepage by just simply guessing what their password was. When you do a password, don't make it guessable like your child's name, your birth date, your favorite football team, your favorite soccer team, your dog's name. Okay? So I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, what football team do they like? Oh yeah, and I'm in. Don't make it obvious. Okay? So you need to change your password regularly and don't make it something that's so simple to guess. Now for us, we will be dealing with specifically what's known as PACS, or Picture Archiving Communication Systems. So there you will have all the demographics and medical records that you need, but more specifically, medical imaging records. Okay? So that's what we're concerned with as technologists. Okay? Everything is computerized now, so all this information can be accessed immediately and simultaneously. Not only that, because now it's readily available, anybody can tap into the systems. So we've got to be cognizant of preventing any type of people getting in that shouldn't be in there. Okay? So it talks about PACS, Picture Archiving Communication Systems, and also teleradiography. Again, this allows us to access information anywhere at any time. We'll spend a little bit more on radiology and PACS system on Unit 5. Okay? Any questions? Are we done? We're done. All right, bye guys.